Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of The Point, Walk the Walk, Hoop Talk. I am Troy Miles, and I am here again with my co-conspirators, Ed Davis and Craig Murray. Fellas, what's going on tonight?
What's up, Flu? What up,
Oh,
Craig?
man.
Oh,
Hey,
man. Great to be back in the studio, baby.
Yes, it's always good to be back in the studio. And, once again, here we are, three guys having the conversation, old school views and new school news.
Yes, sir.
And the news tonight, fellas, there's a lot going on in the world of we're NBA. It seems like we're always NBA, but there's just so many hot topics and so many things to talk about. And one of the things, and first off, we're going to talk about is what's going on with the Lakers, man. A few episodes ago, we had a good time announcing to the world that the Lakers were on the verge of acquiring an all-time great, and now that that has transpired, and we're moving down the road a little bit. We're gonna debrief a little bit about that. We're gonna segue a little bit into just a brief historical perspective on Kevin Durant. I know Ed has some feelings about KD that he's going to share. Everyone in the basketball world heard about the kabam last night. 83 big ones for Bam Adebayo. There's that's a polarizing subject because some people feel a certain kind of way, including me, about those forced accomplishments. Even though, let's just face it, sports is entertainment, and that was entertaining to watch. But and we'll touch on a few other things when we come back in just a moment. All right, fellas, we're back.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Let's get after it.
Well,
Let's go.
Let's go. Well, first thing on the board is Ed, your Los Angeles Lakers. Now, as I said at the top, we a few episodes ago, we were announcing to the world that the Lakers were on the verge of something special. They were off to a fantastic start. Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, their chemistry was fun to see. And, we were anticipating what that was going to look like with the addition of LeBron James, who is an incredible teammate. He has been all 23 years. And we thought that was going to bode well for the Lakers and be a problem out west for everyone else. But it's not quite looking that way. Lead us off with that. What's going on in Lakerland with your Lakers?
Oh man, everybody always want to point the finger at LeBron. I don't think LeBron is necessarily the problem, man. It's the Lakers' problem is they don't play any defense. That's their problem, right? But on the other hand, when LeBron is sitting, whether he's hurt or taking a day or off, like we mentioned before, I think the Lakers do play with they're in a better flow offensively when LeBron is not playing. And the reason I believe that is because when LeBron is on the floor, I think it changes Reeves. AR's mindset changes. If LeBron is on the floor, he takes a back seat. Like he relaxes instead of being aggressive. And I think he's actually the number 2 option for the Lakers. But for him, I think mentally he's like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to fill in. They're better when AR is aggressive. I believe they're much better. When AR is aggressive, he's a serious problem. So I think the Lakers gonna have to figure out a way to when he comes back, and I think it's more on LeBron. He's going to have to make sure to assure AR that he's gonna have to continue to be aggressive. Either that, or JJ's gonna have to sit LeBron a little bit more and let that team that's playing with Dockage and AR, let them play a lot more, and then let LeBron just fill in. Let him do his thing. But everybody want to rush and say, "Oh yeah, they're better without LeBron," or this or that or this. There's some truth to that, but at the same time, I believe they can win. They can still win with LeBron on the floor.
Well, real quick, before you jump in, Craig, I think that it well, it's not LeBron's fault per se, but they've had a big enough sample set with him in the lineup to be able to compare and contrast. And, you can be idealistic and say, well, ideally, I think that, that this about Reeves or this about LeBron, but what's happening at face value and what you said and what seems to be the case at face value is that LeBron, for whatever the reasons are, negatively impacts uh, AR's connection to the unit. And so when like I said, you can be hopeful and say, "Hey, I hope they can get it together." But we're down to the last 15 games of the season or so, and it's not about trying to figure out. It's quickly becoming imperative that they figure it out if they plan on having any success in the postseason. Go ahead, Craig.
Just watching them play and seeing, because there's enough of the sample size to see what we see. All right, so I, the hardest thing for the Lakers, just watching them on the offensive side of the ball, is you got three ball dominant guys with the ball in their hands, and that's just not enough. It's not enough time. It's not enough uh, energy or pace of what they're doing to be able to play that way in order to be effective. And so LeBron has to be this is the deal. LeBron's going to be pretty good when he goes and plays for the Warriors, and all he becomes is a guy that makes passes
Or or
as to where he's at now,
or Cleveland if he
or
ends up in
Cleveland.
Cleveland. But
But
but you said a key thing to me when I watch LeBron, believe it or not, impacts their pace as fast as he is.
Mm-hmm. I
He
agree.
still somehow impacts their
I agree.
pace.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
curious thing for me because when it was when his AR when they're spearheaded by, I mean, they were the dynamic duo. One of our podcasts we talked specifically as if they were Gotham. They were Gotham in the way they were approaching the game. So um, I just
One of the things, one of the things, man, is that when LeBron's not there, AR, like you say, he's far more aggressive, and he's definitely number two option. But what makes it even better is then you get Rui. Rui turns himself into a third option,
right.
and you got Laravia,
Everybody moves up an option. Everyone
DeAndre
starts
Ayton,
right. Every,
mentally,
yes,
not mentally.
that's right. They start
You see what I'm
vying
saying?
for
See,
that.
so
Yes.
now you got some mystery. You don't know where the attack is going to come from. They're hitting open people. Shots are falling. They're
Mhm.
playing better. Well, last couple of games they were playing better defense. So I think with him sitting down, there's a different dynamic. But LeBron is just polarizing, man. He's been there 23 years, man, and I turn the TV on. I don't miss a Laker game. I don't. I don't miss a Laker game, and I'm a Warriors fan. But like I said, I don't miss a Laker game.
Mhm.
Win, lose, or draw. So
I just think it's going to have to come to a point where his scoring becomes so less of a factor,
I
and his
agree. Yep.
intelligence and passing, because he's an
Mm-hmm.
unbelievably great passer.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where he's going to have to be. If he were to really be effective with them, then he becomes more of that. But to hold on
Yeah.
to the ball, and then all of a sudden he's trying to get to the basket or get downhill. He still can do it at times, but he can't try to do it and they can't rely on him to do it. But how do
No.
you, as a player who has had that mentality for so long, change that? You know
But
what I mean?
but it happened organically the first couple games because he hadn't got his rhythm yet. And because he
Yeah.
didn't have his offensive rhythm as such, he
Right.
was he was facilitating.
Been a
And
facilitator.
Yeah.
and this first few games back, I was thinking, "Hey man, watch out, West, because if you've got if this is how they're operating, and then LeBron is because he's a magician of a passer, he's a Magic Johnson mindset anyway.
Right.
So
Right.
if you had him firing on that cylinder with a confident AR and a normal Luca, that's a tough trio. But it's
Yeah.
but like you said, Ed, one of the important parts of what you talked about is that when when they don't have when they're not relying on LeBron, then the other
Mm-hmm.
people mentally step up. Each one steps into that third.
Right.
I'm the third wing. No, I'm the third.
Exactly.
I'm the
Right.
third op. No, it's me. No, but it's me. And no
Yeah.
one minds that because that's to the
Yeah.
benefit of the group. When Laravia's
Mm-hmm.
confident, when Rui's confident, you got Marcus.
Even Aton, man.
That's right. Even Aiton
Yeah.
feels that he's
Yeah.
more included because he's not an
Yes.
afterthought in what you're doing. But
Right.
we have to at some point, we talked about this a little bit earlier, Ed. At some point, we just have to just accept things as they are and just think that some of these guys are just like Steph and LeBron and Kevin Durant are just twilight players. And when we and this that's a good way to segue into our thoughts about KD because KD should thank his lucky stars for a man named Steph Curry. Because I, in my heart, believe that without Steph Curry, KD would be ringless.
It's not just Steph Curry. It's the Warriors in a system.
Well,
Because
Yeah.
they, like I said, they had Clay, they had Draymond. It was a system. He stepped into a winning system, and like you said, it fits in perfectly because all he had to do there is ball. That's it. He didn't have to lead. He just had the ball. It was a
Right.
perfect
Well,
fit for him.
yeah.
And like I said, and Steph was mature enough and smart enough to kind of take a little seat back and let him do his thing, right?
Yeah.
So it was a perfect fit. And I like you. I do believe there's a good chance that if he didn't go to Golden State, the brother be ringless, man. He would not have a ring.
and it's
Well,
not
I
he's not
and
dynamite.
yeah. Well, that's why now. So there is a two part to what we talked about earlier about the Lakers on this same understanding. The system that the Warriors run. Can
Hmm.
you imagine how intelligent with LeBron playing with that system? Now it's a because it takes the ball out of your hands. It doesn't allow you every once in a while it allows you to do your thing, but the most of the time that is spent on movement and spacing. Movement and
Yeah.
spacing. Where you watch a lot of other teams, it's on dominance. Like watch the Lakers. I love Luka Doncic, but you know what? He has the ball in his hands way too much. And because he's good
Hmm.
enough, he's taking shots that, yeah, he makes them, but it takes them so out of rhythm because he's taking those
Yeah.
shots. And a lot of people
True.
don't get to see the ball. So
It's true.
now that's so it affects them that way. Now we can talk about the defensive side because that's a whole different thing. But when it comes to the offensive side and you're trying to, play at the pace where you want to see your players play. I just think when you watch, and that's why when you watch Kevin Durant though, he doesn't need the ball. He doesn't need to do a lot with the ball to get a shot off.
No, he
So
No,
doesn't.
he's not
not
going
at
to
And
all.
hold up.
Not at all. No.
he's content with just kind of
Yeah,
fitting into the group,
right,
just being
right. Yeah,
a bit player, even though he's fantastic. And what came to mind just quickly back to what you just said, Craig, about LeBron landing and Golden State. That would be a sad, sad scenario because let me tell you, because if LeBron landed, hypothetically, if LeBron landed in Golden State, that immediately makes Draymond Green expendable. Okay.
right,
And then that means that
It does.
you gave up your future. You gave up Jordan Poole and Kaminga, your escorts into
right,
the new era, basically because of Draymond Green,
right.
indirectly or directly because of Draymond Green, and to
Okay.
find yourself with the twilight LeBron James and all his
Yeah.
passing skills and his ability, and who's he gonna pass it to? Is Draymond gonna knock down threes for you?
Yeah. No, that's correct. Yeah. And then, yeah. So it's just, it's funny to see. I mean, but the problem with everybody else is this right here. In the West, you got your five, maybe six teams, and then everybody else is talking about these different conversations here. But those five or
Hmm.
six are the only ones that legitimately can win the whole deal. You know what I'm saying?
True.
What five?
True.
Who?
Well, you got
Who?
San Antonio, you got
Yeah.
Denver, You got who did I just watch him play the other night?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Okay, see.
Okay,
That's
okay.
it.
Yeah. Well, really, that's it.
Yeah,
That's really
That's
it.
it on the
named
West.
5. You
Yeah.
named 5. I'm like, I don't see
Yeah,
it. I
3.
don't know
Yeah,
of
3.
5.
Yeah.
That's it.
3.
What about the East?
Well,
Detroit,
you got yep,
Boston,
yep. Cleveland.
Cleveland's coming.
Cleveland's coming.
Cleveland is coming.
Yeah.
I feel like we're
Who-
missing somebody.
we are
I
missing.
don't know about New York yet. I'm still not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about New York.
I said before with them, they can beat anybody, but they can lose anybody,
Right.
depending on who, which team show up. So
And quiet as kept, Philadelphia could if Embiid could be healthy.
That's the big if.
That's the biggest if.
Yeah.
That's the big if.
Because
That's like saying that Charlotte could if their youngsters are going to be ready, and Kobe gives them what he needs to give them, because Charlotte is dangerous.
I can see them getting clipped though. I can see them getting clipped to say at least second round.
I can see that.
They got to they got to take their lumps. They got to take their playoff lumps like everybody else. Before we leave LeBron, man, I truly believe LeBron needs to think about restructuring his contract, staying right where he's at, let them get another player in with some of that money, and go for it, and go for his last run. That's it.
You'd like to
I don't like I said, I don't think he can mess with AR is stopping him from doing what he needs to do. Not LeBron. That's AR. It's mental. It's LeBron. It's AR.
But it's at a certain point, if it is what it is. So you're okay with LeBron as an LA fan. You're okay with LeBron in the fold next season.
I have no problem with it, especially if he restructures his contract, which means they can give them the opportunity to get another player in. They fine.
What do they need?
I think it's
what?
I think it's
what do they need?
Yeah.
Perimeter defense.
I think it's over in LA. I think because there's two things.
It probably is.
I think it's not only that, it's also JJ's trying to become the coach that he needs to be, and I still don't think that with having somebody who has that much emphasis on things, he can strive to be the best coach he can be. I think there's a point to that too, because how are you going to get on a guy who's been in the league for 23 years when you were in the league for what, 12 to 15, and this is your third year as a coach? Now, what are you going to tell him? But somebody like Steve Kerr can have that realistic conversation about where LeBron's game is at right now. I
think JJ got on Luka a couple times.
Say he needs to work on. Maybe he needs to work on his relationship with Luka, if anything.
Yeah. I think LeBron's aura is too big for where they're at right now.
Yeah.
For who they are. They've got it. There's some things they got to bring in to help. Their defense is still. I mean, I like DeAndre, man, but he's the smallest 6'11" guy in the league.
They have no other option though. They got to stick with him, man. When he's playing well, he's playing well. He plays well too.
The problem is,
offensively,
you don't know when that is.
He plays well offensively. I've never seen him guard the queen. I've never really seen him having people worried about coming to the basket.
Right.
That is true. Going up high and blocking some off the glass. Yeah.
Throwing people's stuff. Like Elijah Wan. I mean, I'm not saying that he's an Elijah Wan, but you remember how we used to watch Elijah Wan and you, and he'd be like, man, the paint is closed tonight.
Paint is closed, yeah. You're not going down there.
They used to go after everything.
Man.
Everything. Whether they get it or not.
Yeah, you're not going down there on no bat.
No, it was closed, especially, man. That just brings up such a beautiful memory. You guys remember when John Thompson would put him at the top of the 1-3-1?
Oh yeah.
Who, Pat?
When he was a freshman, when Pat was a freshman, he'd be roaming the top, the perimeter. I'd be like, he'd be blocking people's job. I'd be like, this
all that length, yeah.
This is insane.
They don't make them like that anymore, man.
John Thompson rolled Mutombo out. He rolled right back to back.
Lonzo.
Big
Alonzo,
Lonzo, just
yeah,
ridiculous.
and Matumbo, yeah, all
Oh
of them,
man, that
yeah,
was
Fellow
that,
Harrington.
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that was
That's
so.
going way back, huh?
So,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, it goes way back. But do you think that some these guys like Aiton and company do they have a historical perspective like that? Do they
No,
s- do they
no,
do they go back into the archives? I mean, because if I'm DeAndre Ayton, I would watch Akeem Olajuwon highlights morning till night. Because imagine if you could mentor or you and then to know that Olajuwon actually works with people. I mean, if I was a millionaire, that's the first person I'm calling to help me because, like I said, everyone isn't into uh, uh, continuous quality improvements apparently because that's not
Hmm.
hard to figure out. Where can I go to improve myself if you're already an NBA player?
right, right.
That's
That
true.
that that's like some of these guards that what going to seek out a Rod Strickland or a Isaiah Thomas or the original Isaiah Thomas or
Rod Strickland.
you know Rod Strick
Man.
God bless him, he his first year and he making it to a
Co-
NCAA tournament
Co-
game.
Coach of the
Yeah,
year
yeah, yeah.
in
I
this
saw that.
conference,
Yeah,
Mr.
Yeah,
I
Strickland.
saw that.
gotta love that, gotta love that, man, gotta
Well,
love
It's
that.
nice.
it's because man, the game has been around for 100+ years, and the nuts and bolts of the game have not changed.
Never change. It'll never
They
change.
they
That's it.
don't. So
That's it.
as much as the game is, as we talk about as the game has evolved and there's different ideologies and different ways to approach things, there's just certain things that will never change. And if you make them part of your non-negotiable package, your teams will have consistent success, whether it's
There we go.
offensively
Hmm.
or
Amen to
defensively.
that. Yep.
Yes. And
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
you all these new age analytics and all these different philosophies, they don't replace basic ecology. They really don't. And yeah, I'm open to innovation. I love innovation. I can fancy myself an innovator, but there's like I said, there are just some things that are core and key, and that will never change. And so when you like I said, when you tap into those things, people can call it old school all they want, just like we're old school views. But a lot of the things that we say are still are still valid.
Relevant. Yep.
Yes,
Relevant. Yep.
and relevant.
You're right.
Absolutely correct. All right, we're back. By now, everyone's heard about the explosion last night. The kabam! The Bam Adebayo 83-point effort last night against the, should we say, hapless Wizards?
Right. Man.
But there's two sides to that, and I don't know. I'm on the fence because I realize that basketball is entertainment, and I love to see anyone in their moment. But there's a certain part to me that when I was a youngster, I remember the scoring title came down to it was David Thompson and David Robinson and George Gervin. I think it was all three of them in a tight race, and I think Gervin had got 63 points, and then David Robinson ended up with 70 something. Is that what
David
happened?
Thompson.
David
David
Thompson.
David Thompson.
Yeah, David Thompson had 70
Yeah.
some points. But they were feeding David Thompson the ball every time down the floor. And Ice just got his because he's nice like that. So
Right.
last night, Bam had, I think, 61 in 3/4. And paralleling to Kobe's 81 in 3/4. But the fourth quarter, I didn't even watch the game. I saw the highlights, and then I'm
Right.
looking at the score. I'm like, man, they're blowing them out. And they're still feeding this cat the ball. He's got 43 free throws. He's got I don't know how many shots from the field. I mean, it's still a feat. It's one of 3 people to accomplish that mark. But what do you guys think about the spoon feeding? Man,
It's a tough one because the thing that you say is when Kobe went to go get his 81, and Kobe's a standard. Kobe's a standard when it comes to being able to
He had to
score
go
and
get it.
keep up.
Yeah.
if
And so when you got
Phil
him,
asked him, "Do you want to go back
yeah,
in?" He said,
here
"I'm
we go.
good.
So that's what I was
I'm
getting to.
good."
And he said, "Yeah, I'm done." And so when a great like that says it, then you look at the 83 and you go, "Come on, man." But then I also look at this. The organization that he plays for, I think it surprised me because I didn't think that their organization, the way they've been built on who they are, would do that. But if they did it, there had to be some reason for
So
them
it's
to do that. And so I
because
don't
it's
know the
I can see
Bam.
behind.
that.
Because
Yeah,
it's Bam. That's a good
I can
point,
see that.
Craig.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
and he plays so hard all the time. Like there's
He
never a
does.
night you look at him and you go, man, and this dude ain't trying to win every night, everything, rebounding, defense,
Y-
all that right
y-
there. So it's almost like to me, I think it was, man, we appreciate who you are, Bam.
that is you, Craig. You are
Yeah.
echoing I gotta
Absolutely.
my phone ringing here. That's
Yeah,
echoing the sentiments of what Victor Oladipo had to say because
Okay.
Oladipo said the same thing. He said that he's such a good person. He said he's
yeah,
raised right. He's such a
Mm-hmm.
quality that it was more like it's more like an honor for them to bestow that upon him to
yeah,
feed him
right,
into history as such, immortality, uh,
yeah,
basketball
Well,
immortality.
yeah,
when you get to when you get to 60 though, it's you still got a quarter or something left. The team and everybody in the arena want to say, I wonder how much you can get.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
see what I'm
And
saying? So I'm sure it had a little bit of that to do with it
right,
as well. Because when I first heard it, my first question was 83. How did that happen?
yeah,
And I said that only because of the style of play, the way he plays.
yes,
right.
He don't go for 30 a night. No, that's not
Yeah,
him. He just
he's a
plays
22
hard, do what he need
night
to do.
guy. He's a 22 night guy,
yeah.
right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. See, when I heard 83, I was like, really?
yeah.
But it is what it is, man.
But
I
It's the
was
it's
story.
yeah, I think it's the one guy we all as fans of watching the game and
Hmm.
how much we love the game. It's the one time we probably look at it and go, okay, we can look past how he really
It's
got that
Bam.
83.
It's
Is a
Bam. Yeah.
because you respect how he plays the game and how he approaches the game and who he is as a person from what we know and when you hear him speak and what he does and how he plays. So I look at it that way. Now, don't get
Hmm.
me wrong. I still say because Kobe could have got 100.
yep, could have.
Easy.
Kobe could
Yes.
have got 100. He could have shattered that
Yes.
record the way he was
Yeah,
playing because
True.
yeah,
his mentality is that way every night. I'm trying to kill you. You
yeah.
know, the same as
He
And
Michael
probably
Jordan.
mad. He probably mad right now.
well,
He probably
they were
pissed off like,
well,
man, come
they
on,
were
man. Like,
they were cooked. Toronto was
Right.
cooked,
Right.
and so last night the Wizards were cooked. And
Yeah.
they kept him out there for that. But it's special. You had Asia at the game. I love that couple,
Yeah.
by the way. And to do that in front of your family like that, and
Yeah.
your
mm-hmm.
woman like
Mom was
that.
loving it. See her up there. Mom was loving it. And you
Oh
can't.
man,
Yeah.
It's
oh
okay.
man,
I'm
mom,
good with it.
that
I'm
was
good with it.
I was loving seeing mom.
Yeah.
That warmed me up, man, because that's just special. That's a once in a lifetime thing for anyone. And so I'm not raining on his party.
No.
No. No, not at all.
I'm a purist. I'm a competitor. Um,
Yeah.
I say that that 83 gets an asterisk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't mind saying
Right.
that because just because it's got an asterisk, that all that means is it's spoon fed,
Yeah.
and just like Kobe's farewell, that was a spoon fed 60. People think that was incredible. It was entertainment,
Yeah.
but they were spoon feeding him for sure.
Yeah.
I played. I was playing 2-on-2. It was me and the person. This is a long time ago versus George and somebody else. I had 81 on Ed, and it was what
It was like,
George who?
I'm cool with 81. I'm
you.
cool with
I
George,
had
81.
George who?
Davis. I had
Got to
81
be
on.
joking.
I had
Oh
Craig,
no.
I had about 81 on Ed, and I was just
Nah.
it was organic. It was pick and
Nah.
rolls. I was crossovers, step backs. I mean,
Oh
wherever
nah.
You're on the floor.
yeah.
You're on the floor.
You got your
See,
shoulder separated. You got your shoulder separated at 50. I'd have separated your shoulder at 50.
hey,
You never got to 60. There's
hey,
no
that's
way.
it. Hey, Craig, that's what
Never.
Charles Barkley said. Charles Barkley said, "I'm gonna
I
be
thought
honest with you. Kobe couldn't have got 81 on me, especially if I had any fouls
there's no
left."
way. Oh man, come on, man. No.
He
He might
said,
have had 70. He got getting 80.
"He got
No.
good. Hey,
No,
Al,
no way. No.
especially if I got fouls left.
Come on, man.
Hey,
Come
look,
on now.
I understand
Come
that.
on.
That is so funny. But
Yeah. Monty,
what?
what was up with Washington? How did they let
Hey,
that
man,
happen?
look, man, Washington.
That looks so bad. That
Hey,
looks so bad defensively.
Yeah.
Ed tried to correct me. I said that, look, they're just youngsters because the Wizards, they have 4 All-Stars. And Ed said, who? I said,
And
they have
They
4
didn't take
guys
all stars.
make the rookie sophomore game, though. That's the All-Stars of your level, right?
That's not, yeah, but that's not all
That's
stars though. I mean,
hey,
that's no.
that's
No.
a prognosticator of how you're going to fare in the you're an all-star of the youngsters. I mean, I think that's admirable because some of those guys actually could have played with the big boys. But I
Who? Which one?
I think first of
Oh, you
all,
Knuckle. Other guy. I thought you were talking about the Washington. Wait, okay. My bad.
yeah. I
I
think
thought you were
there's
talking
some
about
guys
Washington.
who played in the rookie sophomore game that could be considered
Yeah,
regular
yeah, I got you. I
all
got you.
stars. So I think that it's just um, we talked about know-how versus do-how. I
Mm-hmm.
think that the model is changing. Do-how is we talk about do-how being dead, and that uh, the know-how is the way of the land. But some organizations are still what you want to call hard-headed because they see those glimmering rocks of do-howers because do-how players are talented. It's not that they're not, because I mean, one thing that we failed to mention when we talked about KD is that KD is an all-time great. KD is a terrific. I know I'm on a little bit of a tangent, real quick, and you guys make sure I get back to my point. But um, the thing about KD is, I don't even have to ask you who you guys would pick between him and Bird. I wouldn't even have to ask you guys. I already
Nah.
know who you guys would
No.
pick, and it's
Come
because
on. Now.
as talented as KD is, he's not the catalyst that a Larry Bird type player is because of
It's the intangibles,
all the
the other
intangibles.
things that he do.
So
Yes.
that leads me back to what I was saying about the young Wizards. A lot of these kids are talented. They have a high skill set. They can shoot the rock. They're fast, they're quick. They can jump out of the gym, but their intangibles package.
right,
It's the
right,
little things that equate to consistent winning, long-term success, not the over the top things. It's the small things that seem to make the biggest difference and when it comes to having success or falling short. And
Most most of those guys are foreign born, aren't they?
some
Aren't they
of them
foreign
are.
born?
Not all of
I mean,
them.
what Sar, the
Sar
four you're
is
talking about, they're foreign, right?
Trey Johnson's homegrown, Koulibaly's
Okay.
foreign, Sar's foreign, and Keontae, is it Keyshawn George? He's a home
but
team.
it's the same thing that we've talked about when you watch these guys and they've had so much success early that they don't buy into how they need to get better when you've had so much success and now you're making so much money at a younger phase in your game. Now it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, and it's what Michael said about when he talked about it at the beginning. He goes, when and yeah, it's gonna change because it's just evolving with these guys getting more money and things like that. He goes, but but we had to earn ours. We had to earn ours, and part of
Yeah.
that was learning the game at its finest, at its best, at at
Well,
its
you
most fundamental part.
you had to learn because you were in competition with a locker room full of veterans. So
There we go.
you had to
You
be
have to. That's what.
wiser
There we go.
to crack
Yeah.
Mario Ellie. You're not going to just come in and take Mario Ellie's job
Right.
unless you're an intelligent player. You can't because they're too smart. So the big mamas of the NBA, they don't exist anymore. So we talk about that. So you talk about a group like Washington Wizards who's tanking, by the way. All these it's only 15 games
Yeah,
left.
no
These
shit.
teams aren't trying to win right
Right.
now. The teams that
No.
aren't in the position to make the playoffs are not trying to win. So they're in the mode right now. They show up to lose, and then all of a sudden, Bam says, "I'm going to help you," and then there's nothing that they couldn't
Right.
recover.
Hey,
You
hey,
give up 83, you damn sure tanking. You tanking.
some of
For
those
sure.
some of those baskets that they gave up, there was not even guys they weren't even getting in the way. They weren't just bumping him, they weren't even trying to play. And I was like, man, that's embarrassing for the league. That's embarrassing for the league. I mean, the Wizards are who the Wizards are, but that's even more embarrassing as a pro and what you represent your city for and how you approach the game right there. That's the one thing that I don't like is you don't have. It's like even when the teams were bad during the years of the 80s and 90s, they were still competitive. It still was you weren't
Well,
going to go out there and just do what you need,
Well, here's what I want to do, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do it tonight because we're running out of time here tonight. But I would love to broach this subject for our next week. Is
Yep.
simply tanking in the NBA because we know that teams are tanking. We get why they're tanking, but there's got to be a solution. I've heard some ideas, and we don't have time to get into them right now, but I've heard some ideas floating around that could be a possible remedy for the tanking situation that keeps things competitive. Anyway, we don't have time, and my brain's scrambling because here I am thinking that, hey, once again, we've come to that place where it's time to thank everyone that hung with us for this 35, 40 minutes. We appreciate you. And like I said, if this is your first time watching, please like, please share, please comment, please tell a friend. We say this every time. These three guys here, we kind of know what we're talking about. We've been in this basketball business for a long time. We've been having these conversations for a long time. When we say three guys having a conversation, that's really what we're doing. We've been having these same types of interactions. I mean, truly, for since college, and it's nice to plug in and be able to share. And look, please feel free to comment, and be on the lookout because we do go live with this show, and you guys can plug in real time. But Craig, Ed, anything to say to the folks out there on our way out?
Look forward to listening to us for our next conversation.
Yeah. Ed?
Yeah.
You got anything?
Yeah, Syracuse fired Adrian Archery today.
Ooh.
Yeah, they fired Adrian Archery today. That's a good spot for Mark Jackson. Somebody hire Mark Jackson. I'll say it again. That's a good spot for Mark Jackson. Hire him. Mark Jackson, come on.
Mark Jackson, somebody hire Carmelo Anthony, and we're out.
Next week.
Next week.
Yeah.